So the way that we communicate is a constantly evolving process, and it does involve growing pains, especially when, as Brian mentioned, the barrier to entry is low, and there is a semblance of permanence out there that I think will become respected. So much like if you go back and look at ancient cave drawings, you don't know who in that society drew them. Was it the poor peasant folk who had been, defeated by something and just drew, certain things, or was it, the owners of the society? We don't know because time erased that. What it didn't erase was the drawings. But the internet is much like that. Once you put up that picture of you in Cancun with, the two topless waitresses taking shots, that's there. People have it. So I think that there's going to be some sort of new need and bounds respect for privacy, and Facebook turned 6 today, so I don't know, everybody has a different feeling about how they like or don't like Facebook, but Facebook's 6th birthday was today, which in internet years it's like dog years, so Facebook's like 50. But you probably know that, like once you've reached 6, it's just like, man, it's a billion. But it's interesting with Facebook is that Facebook's privacy issues, whether you like them or hate them, has brought up a lot of really interesting discussions with how people's personal and professional life commingle and where those boundaries are. So can you not have a personal life anymore? Do you have to separate your personal life and your professional life completely? Can you not have a professional life if you have a personal life? I'm often a little scared and nervous. I have younger family members, cousins and nieces and nephews who don't have any shock value at all for what people may post. And I think that where the disconnect will come is that when they have to interact with the generations in a professional sense that are still shocked by the things that are posted. So I think it's going to take a lot of give and take on both ends, is that they will have to assimilate to the workforce and understand some measure of control. And we will have to assimilate to understanding that they were not brought up in a world that didn't involve the internet, that didn't involve instant photos, instant information, text messaging at the speed of now. When I was younger, my mom taught me that if I was mad at someone, I should write a letter and wait until the morning, and if I still wanted to mail it or give it to them, that was fine after I'd reread it. Well, now, any person who wants to go out and pick a fight with someone online, if they don't agree, can comment on a blog post or on Trulia Voices or shoot out an email. And they seem to think that because it's left their inbox or their fingers are no longer typing, that it's not permanent, but it is. So I can just anecdotally tell you one thing that irks me very much with email marketing or any sort of online marketing, is that we all do our best in a communications profession, which I'm part of, to reach out to other people and talk to them. And I understand that not everybody wants to talk to you. I get spam email from Papa John's trying to sell me pizza too, right? But I don't respond to Papa John's and say, I hate you and your pizza, never talk to me again. I just hit the unsubscribe button and it's gone. Right. So a colleague of mine was sending out an email marketing campaign recently and received a response that was basically like, you and your company, expletive, 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 I hate you, take me off this stupid list, called them all sorts of names. The unsubscribe button is very large in the bottom of the campaign, and that was really all that was responded, but the interesting thing that happened is that their signature at the bottom said, Joe Blow, your friendly neighborhood realtor. And I'm thinking, you have to be the same person to your customers that you are with your colleagues, and that you are out there in the professional world, because you don't know who knows who. So I can tell you that the only reason I ever found out who Joe Blow was because that email was forwarded to about 100 people being like, don't ever use this realtor, because of what a mean SOB he was when it came to, I just sent him an email. All he had to do was unsubscribe or just say, don't, please take me off the list. That it didn't require anything more than that. So that's where, both Brian and Pete mentioned exercising caution when you go out and do these things, you should feel free to be yourself, because being you is what sets you apart from everyone else in the room. You know, it's what separates us from being in, you know, Catholic school uniforms all the time and, you know, being drones. But at the same time, remember that whatever you post and where your words go once they leave your inbox or computer keys are in someone else's, and can be saved. So if you delete that picture off of Facebook, it doesn't mean everybody else did. So be kind when you tag people in things. My post today about Facebook's birthday was just like how not to make people hate you. And that's one of the ways. And you know, if you take every quiz trying to figure out your Nordic goddess name, or you know, throwing snowballs.
I don't have time for those quizzes. I don't know about you.
You don't have to publish them. If you're on a journey to self-discovery about finding out your favorite star moon color or what kind of unicorn you are, that's awesome. Don't clutter up my inbox with it, please.
That's funny. You know, one of the things that comes to mind when you're talking about, you know, maintaining restraint and going through a process before you just dive online and do a lot of that is also just an element of patience. I think one of the hardest things to have with real estate, because we're realtors and we want to move forward really fast and we want to close a deal tomorrow, and you know, it's in our nature, but with social media you have to have some patience, and that also goes along with, if you're going to try something, you've got to stick with it. And it's hard to be really consistent because we get busy, we've got a transaction going on, there's a million things happening. But if you're going to make a commitment, I think one of the best pieces of advice that they've said tonight is pick something, stick with that, and focus on it, and do it religiously, you know? And then once you've got that going and it's in your business and you're sort of used to doing that on a regular basis, then add another element. Do it in pieces so that you can learn how to do something really well and build from there. But it's going to take some time. You know, you can't jump on Twitter or jump on Facebook or write a blog and expect to get a client tomorrow. You've got to make a commitment to it and give it time to have effect.